These were the team lineups at London's White City last Sunday. Bruce Pennell skippering America with Bobby Schwartz, the Moran boys Sean and Kelly, and Scott Autry, the reserve. Ole Olsen was leading Denmark in the defence of the title, and supporting him, Hans Nielsen, Erik Gundersen and Preben Eriksson, with Tommy Knudsen, the reserve. West Germany's captain was George Hack. Karl Mayer, Egon Müller and Alois Wiesbock complete the four-man team, and the reserve was George Gilgenreiner. And finally, Czechoslovakia, with the captain Jiří Stanko, Alois Drimmel, Václav Werner, Petr Ondrasik and the reserve Tony Kasper. Well, there was a deluge over London last Sunday afternoon which delayed the start of the final, but it eventually did get underway on a damp but drying surface. And after 4 heats, America led with 10 points. Denmark were on 5, as were West Germany, and Czechoslovakia had 4. Let's pick it up now for the 5th heat with Gary Newbon in the pits and commentary by Dave Lanning.
Heat 5, and the Danes, the holders, have slipped a long way back behind the Americans, so they bring in their young reserve Tommy Knudsen from Coventry, of course, the world number 3, number 20 on his back, and that's just his age as well. And there's the rest of the lineup. The whole American team really are getting behind their lads. You can see the whole bunch of them out on parade, trying to encourage Kelly Moran. And Moran is the only American so far after 4 heats to have dropped a point, finishing 3rd in the opening race. But Kelly notoriously doesn't like it in the wet. Call him at Voyens last year in the World Individual Championship, going out when we had similar conditions. Gutsy little performer, though, and he'll be anxious to get in on the act as the Americans consolidate, or try to consolidate, their first ever World Cup final win. Of course, they have the reigning World Individual Champion Pennell and the reigning World Pairs Champions in Pennell and Bobby Schwartz. It would be a remarkable hat-trick for them after so limited experience in the top rank, when he really re-emerged in the World Speedway scene in the last 5 seasons. The full lineup for Heat 5: on the inside, Alois Drimmel from Czechoslovakia, 1 point first time out. Next to him, it's Tommy Knudsen, the reserve from Denmark, and he'll be in the yellow and black helmet colour. Karl Mayer from West Germany, a 3rd first time out, is in grid 3 in the blue helmet colour. It is a blue helmet, although it's difficult to discern. On the outside, Kelly Moran in red for the United States, who already have established a 5-point lead, and in a World Cup final, that's a lot after only 4 races. It's the sort of competition you must not finish last, and really the Americans only need to stonewall now, because the other nations are taking points off each other. Here we go, Heat 5. And, oh, there was a mix-up at the start. Moran has gone clear. In 2nd place, it is Mayer. And in 3rd place, it is Drimmel. And it was Knudsen, the Dane, who got the rough end of it. And it really isn't Denmark's day at all, because they're going to drop more points here. There's Knudsen in all kinds of trouble, and you can see the frustration there coming through as Moran stretches away. 2nd, Mayer. 3rd is Drimmel. But, well, the stars and stripes are really fluttering merrily. And Moran, looking back, has got a mile in hand. They're into the last lap. And really, the Californians are absolutely spread-eagling them. Moran taking it very gingerly around the corner, looking over the pits almost impudently. America win it. 2nd place, Czechoslovakia. Rather, 2nd place, Germany, and 3rd, Czechoslovakia. But really, it is getting to be a bit of a cakewalk for the Californians. Well, that really was a controversial start. And we have to look for what happens to Tommy Knudsen in grid 2 as they start. You can see it's Moran from the outside, and Drimmel comes across. And, well, did he make contact with Knudsen? Certainly, Knudsen was all over the place. Drimmel's out mid-track, and he started from grid 1. It's left the way clear for Kelly Moran, and little Kelly doesn't look those kind of gift horses awry. He moves in front, and Knudsen might well feel aggrieved by that little bit of tactics from the Czechoslovakian.
Well, Tommy, you brought all your team here because you're very upset, all of you, about that start. Let's show it to you and tell us what you think happened with Drimmel coming out of grid 1.
Yeah, Drimmel, he came right across on me. You know, I didn't have a chance. He came right across onto gate 2, and I got my foot caught behind the chain adjuster. I couldn't get it back out because he ran into my foot. and I just can't believe it. You know, the referee is so bad at the starts. Like in the second race with Ollie, they got a flyer, and I just can't believe it that this is a world final, you know.
What would you like the referee to have done there, then?
Well, he should have restarted it, all 4 riders back to the line.
Well, the Americans are fast disappearing over the horizon here. They're on 13 points now. That's 6 clear of their next place nation, and a little surprisingly, that's West Germany on 7 points, with Denmark and Czechoslovakia on 5. So the Americans very happy at this stage. They've got Sean Moran, who won his first ride so impressively first time out. He's on the inside. Next to him, Yuri Stancel, big track specialist. And Yuri had a 3rd place first time out, with Reading races, of course, in the British League. Erik Gundersen for Denmark, and the Danes really must start picking up some points soon if they are going to get back into contention. On the outside, the rather surprised merchants, West Germany, have George Hack. So here we go, heat 6. And again, it is America, although it is Gundersen who gets across, and that was a good first corner from Gundersen. Around the outside comes George Hack from West Germany, almost hangs himself on the fence, and Sean Moran is back in 3rd place. And the Americans really caught a little napping complacently as Hack removes his visor as he goes under our commentary position. Took a long time doing it too, and almost allowed Moran to go through. Here's Gundersen, this is better for Denmark. Gundersen in front, 2nd place. At the present moment is George Hack, 3rd is Sean Moran. At the back is Yuri Stancel. This is Gundersen, 21-year-old from Esbjerg, former Danish junior champion. And the battle is really developing for the last place. And Stancel moves up to try and challenge Sean Moran. There's the leader. That's Erik Gundersen in complete control. 2nd place Hack, really going out almost on the fence. This may well be the spark to start a Danish revival. First Gundersen, Denmark. 2nd Hack, Germany. 3rd Moran, USA. And there's Gundersen. I wonder if the holders are really going to come back into contention. They certainly have had some resilience in the past, and the Danes obviously happy that the Germans got up into 2nd place and stole points from the Americans there. Heat 7, and the Danes with the veteran Ollie Olsen on the inside. Czechoslovakia bring in 19-year-old reserve Antonin Kasper, European junior champion. West Germany have Egon Müller on the outside, Bobby Schwartz from the United States. America in the clear at the moment. Schwartz looks like he's already pointing towards the line as the tapes get ready to go for heat number 7. And away they go, and it is Schwartz from the outside, and there's a knock there with Müller. And coming tearing round, it is Schwartz, who will not be deterred. Schwartz leads it. 2nd place is Olsen. 3rd is Müller, and Kasper is at the back. But despite a tremendous knock as they ran up to the first corner, Bobby Schwartz will not be deterred. Olsen is being dropped, and Schwartz, who said that he was going to win this one for his teammate, and Müller's come around the outside, and it looks like Egon Müller is the only rider capable of using the dirt and getting around the outside. He did that in an earlier ride, taking 2nd place, and he's moved up into 2nd place quite comfortably. And the Americans will be pleased about that, although Schwartz can't hang around because Müller is a determined customer and has the motors and the aggression to get by, and Schwartz is aware that he has the West German on his tail and is stretching away. No complacency at all. 3 more points for the United States. 2nd West Germany, 3rd Olsen, not happy in the conditions clearly, and that one consolidates the Americans' lead. Schwartz really is turning out to be their anchor man. So the Americans at heat 8 well clear on 17 points. They're 8 clear of their nearest rivals. The Americans well clear now. They're on 17 points, 6 clear of the surprise packet West Germans, who bring in their reserve, George Gilgenreiner, a Bavarian on the outside. Now then, we've got Václav Werner for Czechoslovakia, who had a 2nd place first time out on the inside for the Czechs. Next to him, Hans Nielsen, who won his first ride. Bruce Pennell, a race winner first time out. And on the outside, George Gilgenreiner, on his first outing, although he's a big track rider, scored 5 points for Germany. Oh, got a flyer there. As they all battle, they were knocking and nudging and elbows were flying, and it's Nielsen who gets away. And where is Pennell? Pennell's been squeezed out. Werner's in second place, and that again was a very ragged start. It looked like Gilgenreiner got a knock, and so did Pennell. It's let Nielsen get clear, and the world individual champion, Bruce Pennell, is the one with all the work to do, because he's got Václav Werner, a tough, uncompromising character with the Pool Pirates. Gives nothing away, and he's got Pennell right on his tail. I think Pennell's going to move through into second place, just overcooked the corner. And once again, Werner really chopped across. And I think Nielsen is slowing up to try and help Werner, but Pennell will not be stopped. He's round the outside. And here comes Pennell after Nielsen. And this is a little bit more like it. Into the last lap, 385 metres. And Pennell and Nielsen almost locked together and collided. Nielsen seemed to shut off and going into the corner. Now he's back in command. Here comes Pennell again. And he really is taking tremendous risks, the world individual champion. Just left his effort too late. A win for Denmark, second United States, third was Werner. He really did get in the way of Pennell there and held him back. And that puts Denmark back with 3 points and breathes new life into their challenge.
So after 8 heats, the score was America 19 points, Denmark 12, West Germany 11, and Czechoslovakia 6. America enjoying a 7-point advantage. We'll continue with our coverage in a few moments, but let's out of Heat 10. And for World of Sport at London's White City, we have Gary Newbon in the pits, and our commentator is Dave Lanning.
And the Californians who came here to win have shown absolutely not a weak point and no let-up in resolve. Still, this one might well prove to be interesting. We have got on the inside Hans Nielsen, who has been Denmark's, or one of Denmark's most successful practitioners. He has 2 wins to his credit, 6 points. Egon Müller has been the best from the back by no exaggeration. He's come from last to second a couple of times. Alice Drimmel has 2 third places, and Sean Moran has a win and a third to his credit. He's on the outside. So we should have some action and maybe some passing and bypassing and repassing here in heat number 10. Inside then Nielsen, Denmark. Next to him Müller, West Germany. Grid 3, Drimmel, Czechoslovakia. Outside, Sean Moran, United States. And there's some terrible trouble. Down has gone Nielsen, and down too has gone Müller. And that was not a healthy one. There is Müller. And Nielsen is down still. And on his knees, Müller is back on his feet, but none too happy, we can see. And Hans Nielsen is still down. You can see Hans Nielsen, the only Dane in the world final. And the Danish camp, there's anxiety. I can see Ollie Olsen tearing across the centre green. A real tangle at the start, and we've had some ragged starts. And maybe that's the ultimate has happened. There's Ollie Olsen looking over anxiously. Let's have a look at that start again. Now just watch the 2 on the inside. As the tapes go, you can see Nielsen appear to be burning coal. Away they go, and Nielsen snakes across, and Nielsen comes right across to mid-track and picks up Egon Müller. And there was nowhere to go but in trouble for the pair of them. And they both seem to be heading for the grass there. Nielsen goes over the wrong way, very awkwardly indeed. Müller, well, he's in all kinds of trouble. Somehow manages to avoid Hans Nielsen. The bike somersaults and cartwheels. And Nielsen goes down very, very awkwardly, but it must be said it looked as it was his own fault. Well, there is Nielsen getting a lift back to the pits. The referee, John Whitaker, has decided that there was nobody clearly to blame for the incident, and all 4 go back in. And there is Nielsen, and it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be fit enough to take his place in the restart. So despite that bruising fall, Hans Nielsen comes back into the restart on his number 2 machine. It's a Godden made by Don Godden, of course, down there in Kent. He is their number 1 works rider. So he'll be equally at home on either machine, but it must be said that he's a tough boy to pick himself up from that one. So too is Egon Müller. It's going to be interesting to see how they peel themselves off up to the first corner this time in the restart. Nielsen then on the inside, yellow and black. Next to him, Egon Müller in the blue helmet colour. In grid 3, Alice Drimmel in the white helmet colour. On the outside, Sean Moran in red. So America, we remind you, still a long way clear. They're on 22 points. Denmark are on 13. Here we go for the restart of heat 10. And again, Nielsen has moved across the mid-track, and he's made a flying start. Moran's in second place, trying the outside run, and Moran just hasn't got enough steam. Almost picked up the fence himself, lets Drimmel through. But it is Nielsen in front, second still Drimmel. Sean Moran, despite that gut-busting effort to run the first two corners, back in third place. And really, you have to admire Hans Nielsen. He really is an uncompromising character, and many people fancy he could be a menace in the World Individual Final. There's a battle for second place. It is Drimmel in second place, and Moran under some pressure from Egon Müller. And remarkably, out of the melee, it is Müller who seems to have taken the biggest knock. Certainly not as impressive as at his early rides. There's the leader, but the real battle is for the last point, with Sean Moran under pressure from Müller and Moran almost tangled together. You can see it for yourself. Nielsen is going to win it by a mile for Denmark. Second place, Drimmel, and Sean Moran just holding on for the United States. There is Hans Nielsen. Well, who could discount this character in the World Individual Championship? To pick himself up like that from that alarming prang and win it with such ease, well, it takes a very special kind of man and a very special kind of courage.
Well, Hans Nielsen, what happened with the first start where you had the crash with Egon Müller?
Well, I think I was moving a little bit towards the outside where Müller was, and of course I rear a bit, and as I go out a bit, Müller moves inwards, and we hit together, bang.
Because you were chasing the grip and you moved out, do you think you're a little lucky not to get excluded there, Hans?
No, I don't think so, because Müller was also moving in towards me, so I think it was both faults, really.
Heat 11, let's have a look at the lineup. On the inside, George Hack, Germany. Next to him, Václav Werner, Czechoslovakia. Bobby Schwartz, who has been the anchorman of the Americans in grid 3 in red, and on the outside, Preben Eriksson from Denmark. Every time the Danes have looked like coming back, it's been Schwartz who has come out and won a race. Let's see if he can do it again here in Heat 11. Oh, he's got a flyer. What an absolute flyer from the start, and there's trouble into the first corner. Hack almost picked up, and Hack's still in trouble. Schwartz peels off in front, Eriksson second, third is Václav Werner, and we are having some fun and games out there. Still the battle going on for the last place point, and again, oh, Hack has gone down. He had to happen, it had to happen. He was out there hanging himself up on the fence. He almost did it first time round. Somehow or other he's got up. They really are made of whiplash, these boys. Look at him. Oh. Well, they say they are big track riders, these West Germans, but they're certainly running out of room here at White City. Here is Schwartz. This is the second lap. In second place, it's Eriksson. And watch for Hack. He's trying to get around the outside of Václav Werner. He goes right out, grabbing throttle by the handful. He's right out on the fence. He just missed it around about here, but no such luck this time. Down he goes, over. Well, that's more suited to gymnastics. The bike manages to miss him, and straight away he's up, proving once again that these Speedway... Look, the bike's almost got a mind of its own there. But up gets George Hack, shaken if not stirred. Heat 11 without George Hack. On the inside, Václav Werner. Next to him in the red helmet colour, Bobby Schwartz, and Preben Eriksson from Denmark on the outside. Three only then, the Americans well clear at the moment on 23 points. Denmark on 16. And once again, it's from the outside, and it is Schwartz who shows. Second place is Eriksson, and Schwartz has swung one, and Eriksson trying to strive to find the power. But Bobby Schwartz just seems to have that little bit of extra in reserve every time it's needed. And he's in front. He is unbeaten so far, and he's kicking on for home now in Heat 11. Well, Bobby's lost his helmet colour, but, well, when you're sniffing fresh air, The only colours on his mind is a checkered flag at the end of this race. Such an important meeting for Boogaloo. So broken up about the death of his great chum, Danny Pyatt, came into the team as a replacement for Dennis Sigalos. What a replacement he's turning out to be. Leading heat number 11, second place Ericsson, third is Werner. But unless something untoward happens, there's going to be no change in that order. And Schwartz again has consolidated America just when it looked like a Danish revival might start. He wins it. Second place Denmark, third Czechoslovakia. And Boogaloo, undeterred by restarts, by incidents, by drama, picks up his third consecutive race win. This is Eric Gundersen, of course, teammate of Bruce Pennell at the British League Champions Cradley Heath. And the Danes, well, they've perked up once or twice, but each time the Americans seem to have just jumped on them and not allowed them any real threat at all. Heat 12, Pennell will be on the outside, the most fruitful starting grid so far. On the inside, Gundersen, Denmark. Next to him, Karl Mayer, West Germany. Grid 3 has Ondrasik of Czechoslovakia. And on the outside, Bruce Pennell, with the Americans on 26 points. Let's watch the start, because some of these starts have been controversial, to say the least. That's a better one. Although, once again, Gundersen's moved out, and Pennell has just got to the corner in front of him. Pennell leads it. Gundersen is second. In third place, slipping through, is Karl Mayer for Czechoslovakia, rather for West Germany. But Pennell and Gundersen, teammates, great chums, are battling away up front. Here is Pennell, Bruce Lee Pennell, world individual champion. Again, it looks like America. The Americans, of course, have never won this title. They were second. Rather, this is their second final, and they were second last year in 1980. England have a pretty good record in this, really. They last won it in 1980, won it 4 times on the trot back in the 70s. The country, incidentally, with the best record in the World Team Cup finals are the Swedes. They've won it 6 times in 18 outings, but that was all in the early days. Going over the line now, Pennell for America. Second was Gundersen, Denmark. Third in blue was Karl Mayer, and that means by our calculations the Americans need only 4 points from the remaining 4 heats to ensure their first ever win in a World Team Cup final. Heat 13, it could be the lucky one for the Americans, because they could win the World Team Cup here. On the inside, Preben Eriksson, Denmark, and he must win this race to keep Denmark in with an academic chance of retaining the trophy. Next to him, the West German reserve, George Gilgenreiner. Grid 3, Sean Moran, who could bring home the World Cup for the Statesiders. And on the outside, the Czechs bring in their reserve. That's Tony Kasper in the white helmet colour. Heat 13, and the World Cup could be won in the next 70 seconds. Here we go, and it's Gilgenreiner, the German. That's a surprise. He shows in front. In second place, Eriksson, although here comes Moran, keeping it all screwed on around the outside, trying to follow him through Kasper, not finding the gap. So it's Moran in front, and the Americans are beginning to celebrate. There's Sean Moran, second place Eriksson. That's not good enough for the Danes. In third place, it's Gilgenreiner. Everything going on for the on point at the back there, with Kasper again almost brushing the fence. But Moran is in front, and the Americans are on their way to glory. They came here to win for their fallen colleague, Denny Pyatt. They swore they would win the trophy for him. They're going to dedicate the World Cup to his memory. They've never really looked in any doubt, apart from a little stutter right at the start of the show. But Sean Moran going away comfortable as you please. He's coming around into the last lap. The Americans at the pits getting ready to celebrate. Just 385 metres to glory for America. Sean Moran in no trouble at all, and the showmanship begins, the wheelies begin. The Americans are on their way to a remarkable hat-trick. And what characters, what colour they've brought into World Speedway. They thoroughly deserve this success. Over the line they go, and now the celebrations will begin really from John O'Groats all the way down to Sacramento. Wherever there's American Speedway fans, they'll be celebrating this moment.
So America justifying their favouritism with early victory. Indeed, the score at the end of the final, America the winners of the World Team Cup for the first time with 37 points. Denmark well down in second place with 24. Third were West Germany with 18, and Czechoslovakia gained 17. And after that American success, Gary Newborn talked to Bruce Pennell and the joint top scorer, Bobby Schwartz.
Well, Captain, Bruce Pennell, first reaction to the first ever World Team Cup for America.
Well, I can't believe it, you know. We still have a couple heats left, but I can't even believe my team today, how great they went. You know, we just knew that we were going to win it. You know, we felt it. We did it for a great guy that we lost, Denny Pyatt, and I'm sure he knows about it right now. It's just, the boys did a great job. I'm so pleased.
Bobby Schwartz, Denny, you've ridden tremendously well yourself in this meeting. Obviously, you've been the star of the show, really. What about your friend Denny Pyatt, then, who used to live with you?
Well, my friend is our friend, and we love him very dearly, and this was dedicated to him. I've been training, doing everything I could possibly do to get my right frame of mind to win this meeting today, and Gary, it's just gone beautifully. I'm really proud of all the people involved with helping us, not just the riders, but the mechanics and managers, just everybody involved. It's been beautiful.